Hello, my hard-working student. This is your online maths teacher, Roxana, and today we are back with another lesson. If you struggle with maths, this is the place for you. So today we're going to be looking into expanding brackets. And we can start with our little fun starter. Then I can show you how to work with expanding bracket. What you need to do in this activity is to match up the front view of the teacups with the top view. Okay, so this is a view from a front and then this is a view from the top. If you like these videos, you can download the presentation from my website. You're going to have the link in the description. And you can also find a few other resources there. If you are interested in getting these presentations and lesson plans where things are broken down, they're explained visually, and the practice questions are quite repetitive. So it's very good for people who need to repeat things and they need a specific structure and they need things to be explained step by step. Let's look at the answers. Okay, here is what I noted. Here is what I managed to do. So I matched them up like this. Okay, and I hope you had fun with this activity. Okay, so now let's get into the maths. This was more like a spatial awareness activity than a math starter. Okay, so this is a bit of a revision from the lesson with collecting like terms, because in order for you to be able to do today's lesson, you need to be able to cover this topic as well. If you haven't learned this before and you have no idea what I'm doing here, then you can go and find the video with expanding brackets. There is a whole lesson on expanding brackets and you should be able to find the link above this video. Okay, on the screen should appear now, and I'm gonna give you a few minutes to do this on your own, and then I'm gonna give you the answers. But before I give you the answers and before I let you do it, I'm just gonna quickly do one of these as a reminder. Okay, so let's do this one first. I need to collect like terms, so I'm gonna collect the 3p and the 4p. Okay, these are like terms because they have the same letter. And then the other like terms are the 4q and the 5q. And as you can see, they both have plus in front of them. So signs are also very important. Towards the end of this lesson, I'm going to show you also how to work with signs and how they can change the whole equation. Okay, so collecting the like terms, let's see, the answer is 7p plus, and the two terms from here, if you add them together, it's 9q. Okay, so that's how you do it. Now you can pause the video and you can do your own work, and then I'll show you the answers in a bit. Okay, and we are back. The answers are as follow. There we go. You can mark the work, pause the video, mark the work, and we're gonna move on to the explanation part. Okay, explanation. So if you want to multiply a bracket by a number, let's just assume first that we don't know how to expand this. So 3 times a bracket, it means that bracket 3 times. Yeah, it means 3 times that bracket. It means x plus 4, and I'm going to write that 3 times. Okay, so now I'm going to add them up. 3 4s are 12, and 3 x's, I'm going to write them like that. Okay, so this equals 3x plus 12. And I want you now to notice what happened here. How did they expand the bracket? How did this answer get to become like that? Okay, so if you look, really well in the bracket, you're gonna see that the reason why this is the answer is because there's 3 of these and there's 3 of these. Okay, so it means the 3 was times by x, and then the 3 was times by 4, and the sign is just copied. Okay, and the 3 was times by 4, and that gives you 12. Okay, let's come up with another example. 5 and x minus 2. So I'm gonna do 5 times x, 5x, and I'm gonna copy the sign, and I'm gonna put 5 times 2 is 10. Okay, that's how you do it. I'm gonna give you one more example, and then I'll give you an activity. Okay, let's just see. Actually, let me show you the activity. Let's see if there's anything in particular that might look difficult. Okay, here. When you have something where there's 3 terms in a bracket, basically you need to multiply the 10 by each one of them, because each one of them is going to be 10 times bigger when it gets out of the bracket. So the answer here would be 10a's, 10 plus 2, 10 times 2, 20b's, and plus 10 times 3c, that would be 30c's. What I need you to notice is that I'm also copying the letter. Okay, so I'm multiplying by the number in front of the letter, and I'm copying the letter. Okay, so 10 times a bracket means 10 times every single term of the bracket. So now you can pause the video, you can do your own work in the book, and then I'm going to give you the answers. Okay, and I am back. Let's see. Here are your answers. Yeah, so these are all the answers you need. And as soon as you mark them, we're going to move on to another step, a little bit more complex. Okay, and moving on. Here is an activity where you need to multiply letters. Okay, so the same principle applies. Whatever you have in front of the bracket, you times it by every single number inside the bracket. But this time, I'm going to give you this example, and then we're going to look at this one here, and this one. Okay? So a times, actually, we don't need to do 2 of them. A times c is ac plus, yeah, just copy the sign. A times 2 is 2a. It's important for you to put the numbers in front of the letters, okay? Numbers go in front of the letters. If you have 2 letters, arrange them in alphabetical order. Next example, c times d is cd. The sign is minus. C times 3 is not C3, it's 3C. Okay, we put the numbers in front of the letters. And let's look at this one. This is a bit more difficult because it has letters and numbers. So the 6 is going to be multiplied by the 2, and the G is going to be next to the C. 6 times 2 is 12, and we have C and G. Which one of them is first in the alphabet? The C is first, the G is after. And then we have to multiply by this. We're going to copy the sign. And 6g multiplied by 1 is 6g. Remember to multiply the sign, or to copy the sign, okay? And let's look here. This is a bit trickier because you are multiplying a negative number by a positive first, okay? So when you multiply a negative with a positive, you're going to get a negative. So minus 4, a negative 4 times 8 is negative 32. And then 8 times x is ax. then you have to multiply a negative with a negative. When you put two negatives together, you get a positive. Even if you do it in the same sentence, if you say, I am not saying that I am not rich, it means I am rich, but I didn't say I was rich. I said I used two negatives in the same sentence, which actually made you think that I am rich. So that's how we use negatives as well to get a positive in maths. So we're going to get a plus here. 4 times 3 is 12, and we copy the A. Okay, now pause the video and do the rest of the work. You should be able to do it now. Okay, and I'm back. Here are the rest of the answers. Mark the work and pay attention to the letters. They always come in alphabetical order, okay? And we're moving on. This is the activity, a little bit more difficult. And I'm going to show you how to do this. You should be able to do this if you know how to expand simple brackets. Yeah, so you need two skills here. Let me get a text. So we have step 1, which is step 1. Expand both brackets. Okay, and step 2, after we expanded the brackets, which we know how to do because we just did 2 activities, step 2 is collect the like terms. We also know how to do because the first activity I gave you after the fun starter was to collect the like terms. Okay, so you should be very confident in doing this. But I'm still going to give you one example. Or 2. I'm feeling generous. I'll give you 2 examples. 5 times y is 5y plus 5 times 3 is 15 plus 2 times y. Yeah, so I'm doing multiplying by this, then by that. 2 times y is 2y's plus, and 2 7s are 14. You don't need to remember crocodile or anything like that. Remember that everything that you have in the bracket is going to be 5 times bigger here, 5 times bigger here. And this to multiply by 2 means this should be 2 times bigger, this should be 2 times bigger. Use logic. Don't just use for a formula or some silly thing to remember this. You need to use logic, okay? If you use logic, you're not going to forget it. If you just use a random formula that your teacher gives you, then you're going to forget it if you don't truly understand how to do it. Okay, so now let's circle the like terms. This one is a like term with this one because they have similar letters. It's like 2 people that speak the same language, okay? And the 15, the positive 15 and the positive 14 are like terms. I also want you to pay attention to the signs. That's where people go wrong. Right, so the purple numbers are going to be 29 together, and the blue ones are going to be 7y. Okay, so it's 7y plus 29. And now I am going to give you this example just because it has the minuses here and you might get stuck with the signs. Okay, so 6 multiplied by x, we need 6 x's and 6 of these. Copy the sign. And that's 12 minus. Now I want you to see that this is a minus 4. It's a negative 4, which means you have to multiply each one of the numbers in the bracket with a negative 4. Okay, this time you can't just copy the sign because you're going to end up with a negative here and then another one here, which is going to be really confusing for you. So a negative 4 times x is a negative 4x. Then a negative 4 times a negative 8 is going to be a positive 32 because a negative with a negative, when you multiply them together, they give you a positive. Okay, and I'm gonna circle the like terms. Oh, I just wanted to leave the sign so you can see it. So I have 6x's and I have minus 4x's. So what I want you to see is 6x minus 4x, okay? Because what I noticed here is some of the weaker pupils were just adding them up. Just because they have the same letter doesn't mean you add them. So 6x's minus 4x's leaves you with 2x's, okay? And if I'm gonna be doing the next one, minus 12 and plus 32. You can either write it like this, 32 minus 12, or you can write it the way you see it, minus 12 plus 32. I would write it this way because it's easier for you to see that you do a subtraction and you don't add them up just because they're like terms, okay? So what you need to do is take away the 12 units from the 32. Either way you write them, okay? You still have a subtraction. Yeah, or an addition with a negative, which is also turning into a subtraction. So if you take away 12 from 32, you're left with 20, okay? Plus 20. So there we go. I showed you loads of examples. Now you can pause the video and do the rest of them. Good luck. Okay, and now if you're still working, just keep pausing the video. If not, I'm gonna move on. Here are your answers. Mark the work. I hope you've done it right. If you got the signs wrong, you need to go and revise the lesson with multiplying negative numbers. In this activity, this is the last bit of the lesson, and I want you to look at the questions and notice the geometry mixed with algebra. Okay, so for these three questions, let's see. First one says find the perimeter of a square with the side x plus 3. Okay, the perimeter of a square is, let's do the square just so you can see it. Okay, so this is a square and the side is x plus 3. It means every single one of these is x plus 3, and perimeter is actually the red line only, yeah, not the interior. It means we have to add each one of these, or we times this side by 4. 4 multiplied by x plus 3. So we do 4 perimeter equals 4x plus 12. Okay? Find the perimeter of a regular pentagon with the side x plus 7. Now, as you know, a pentagon, if you don't know, you should know, a pentagon is a polygon that has 5 sides. And if it says it's regular, it means that each one of the sides is equal. So we can times the length of one side with 5. Okay, so the perimeter in this case equals 5 times x plus 5, so which is 5x plus 5 times 7, which is 35. And the measurement, the unit for perimeter is either centimeter or meter, yeah. And the last bit is find the perimeter of a regular hexagon with the side 4x minus 2. And a hexagon, a regular hexagon, has 6 sides and they're all equal. Okay, that's what hexagon means. 6 and regular means they're all equal to each other. So we can do 4x minus 2. So we do 6 times 4, 24x. We copy the minus, and 6 times 2 is 12. Okay, that is all for today. I hope you enjoyed this video. And if you do, please like and subscribe to my channel. And if you press the notification bell, you're going to be notified every time I upload a video. And I hope to see you soon. Bye for now.